Want to say welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. I'm just getting back in the house and I'm not prepared, so I'm going to try to get through this the best I can, okay? So just sit tight, and I will be back with you. So you got time to grab your cup of coffee, water, juice, what have you. We will be back shortly, okay? Again, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Tony Hollis Live Talk Show Testify. Today, I've been running. Um, I know I'm late, but just walking in the house. I'm not prepared, but I'm gonna try to get through this anyway. There was three topics in terms of balls and strikes. That's what we're talking about today. There was three topics that we was going to cover. Um, One being uh, the situation to with the prosecuting attorney, uh, uh, Mr. Martin Liddy. Uh, Many of you probably already done heard the information, but some have not heard it, and they asked me would I share a little bit information, considering they will be voting. Some of these voters are new, and some of these voters are, seasoned voters. But nevertheless, they want to be better informed of the two candidates. And as I say, that if you all have any information that would be somewhat of a benefit to help voters make up their mind, nothing personal, but as long as it relates to the office that they're seeking, then I think that the public should be well informed. Uh, But anyway, I'm going to try to get through that real quickly. And also, before we close the show out, if any of you want to have any comments on the debate that was yesterday here in Blytheville of the 7 candidates, um, I would give you that opportunity to speak on that, considering we don't we're not going to comment on the other two subjects that I indicated, Councilman Mayberry and Councilwoman Brothers. I'm going to save them for probably later in this week, or then again, I may get them next week, but more than likely it's going to be later this week. Okay. So, but anyway, uh, the gentleman that we're going to be talking about today, let me go up here and find him. Let me find him. This is the gentleman that we're going to be talking about today. His name is Martin E. Liddy. He's an attorney. He will be seeking the prosecuting attorney position. That position was vacated by Scott Ellerton. They did have a few other uh, judges to sit in to fill in that spot until we at the point to where we at now. They finna make it uh, a spot to where someone who's running for the office will continue to serve there until the next election. And this is one of the candidates that I will be reporting on today. I'm going to basically show you a letter that basically Mr. Liddy was served with in terms of in order court consent, and so I will be showing that to you as well. And I don't know if I can find his opponent. I don't know if she's on here or not. Let's I don't know if his opponent is on here. I just tabbed through. I don't think so. But anyway, uh, I don't see her, and so we'll just go back. But I do have a photo where I can show you uh, his opponent. But nevertheless, I went too far. Well, we get out of that. There's something else there. So let's go back up here and get out of that. All right. Let's get out of that now. Okay. This is where we're at. All right. Now, uh, but anyway, this is the gentleman that we will be talking about. Let's see if I can blow that up a little bit for you. That's the gentleman that we will be talking about. Okay. But anyway, I'm going to read a consent order that was brought against Mr. Liddy, and then I'll turn it over to you all to speak on the topic as well as speak on the debate that was uh, carried out by the Chamber of Commerce uh, yesterday. Okay, so let's get into the show. Let me get out of this right now. Go ahead and close this out. Okay, so we're going to close that out, and then we're going to come back and we're going to get into the show here. All right. So let's go up here and show this letter right quick, and then I'll read it, and then I'll go ahead and turn it over for questions. Okay. So let's do that now. Go up here and find this letter, because I know I have it, and look like that is it right there. So anyway, seems like we do have the letter on the screen, and what I'm basically going to be doing, first of all, uh, I'm going to uh, read this letter, and then I want you all to go ahead and give confirmation. Now, this is by no means, uh, picking on Mr. Liddy, but again, we have new voters that will be going to the polls, and they want to be better informed. And so um, they have heard of this situation. They say they didn't know if it was true or not, and they asked me, did I have any information on it? to help them better make up their mind in casting their vote. And I'm sure that there is others as well. And so that's what I'm doing. Okay. And like I say, as far as the balls and strikes on Councilman Mayberry and Councilwoman Brothers McAdoo, we'll get to that later in the week. All right. So now let's go up here and let's go ahead and show you the letter. Okay. And here go the letter. Now, this is a letter that was sent out by the Supreme Court Committee of Professional Conduct. Okay. They got different panels, and this panel B here is in terms of where this order come from. You can read along with me. I always say, for those of you who got a cell phone, you might want to turn your cell phone landscape where you can pretty much get a better view in terms of reading. Anyway, I'm gonna run through this real quickly. Consent order. Now, this order was against Mr. Martin Liddy. Okay, he's running for prosecutor attorney for the Second Judicial District, which Mississippi County is part of that district. Okay, this occurred in October the 16th, 2001. Christy McWilliam, age 26, of Blythe, Arkansas, was killed in an auto truck collision in Mississippi County, Arkansas. In November 2001, David Reed of Jonesboro was employed to represent the McWilliam estate for a fee of 33% of any recovery. On November the 20th, 2001, Reed opened probate administration for the estate of Christy McWilliams as Mississippi County probate number P 2001-158. Her parents, Don and Angela Weaver, were appointed as co-administrators, and the Reed employment agreement was approved. Christy McWilliams was survived by two minor children. Looked like Damian McWilliams, then 9 years old, and Devin McWilliams, then 7 years old, and her estranged husband, Glenn McWilliam of Texas. In August of 2001, a pre-litigation settlement was concluded with J.W. Gletton, a Missouri road contractor, by which $1,200,000 was paid to the McWilliam estate. After legal fees and 5 cash payments to various family members, the settlement balance was used to purchase structural annuity for the two minor McWilliam sons. On September the 13th, 2002, Reed filed a civil suit, Mississippi Circuit number CV-2002-308, for both McWilliam estate and for the guardianship estate of vehicle passenger Randall James against Utley Industry Enterprise or Incorporation, which owned the truck that struck the vehicle in which McWilliam, James, and Deason were riding in October 2001. Utley removed the suit to federal court as number 02 CV-383 ED-R. By stipulations filed July the 13th, 2004, all parties announced that all claims had been settled and requested dismissal with prejudice. McWilliam probate filing by Liddy in August 2004 indicated Utley paid $150,000 to settle this claim. Of the $85,000 left after deduction of legal fees and expenses, $29,750 for each McWilliam minor son were to be deposited into a restricted access guardianship bank account. Liddy opened Liddy opened a guardianship case, Mississippi probate number 2004-149, on December the 2nd, 2004, with Glenn McWilliam and Don Weaver as co-guardians. The $59,500 excuse me, was ordered deposited into Northeast Arkansas Federal Credit Union, which, in agreement by uh, the credit union, that no distribution would be made without a court order. On November the 6th, 2008, an acceptance and acknowledgement of deposit document signed by an credit union representative was filed, accompanied by two receipts from credit union indicating Donna Weaver allegedly had opened accounts which for which therefore each of the two minor sons, stating a $29,750 deposit had been received for each account, and showing the separate account numbers for each young man. In late 2011, after Damian McWilliam turned 18, the Weaver contacted the credit union about his funds there. They were told there was no record of any such funds. Okay, that's what I'm reading from on number 7 there. When this young man turned 18 years old, he went and asked about his funding, you know, and of course, they was told that there was no record of any such fund for either young man. In the further course of this effort, contact was made with their former attorney, Liddy. Eventually, Liddy went to the Weaver residence in Manila, Arkansas, in late November, early December 2011, and admitted to the Weavers that he had not find, I guess they mean found the funds, and he was responsible for making good on the missing funds and would do so. So after making contact with Mr. Weaver, or Mr. Weaver making contact with them, he did state that he would make good on the funds since he was responsible. Okay, the Weavers contacted Blava attorney Robert Bobby Coleman with this information. Coleman passed it on to the Office of Professional Conduct, OPC, which started an investigation. Liddy was contacted by the Office of Professional Conduct in October 2012. We don't have 5 pages. We're on page 3, you all. On November the 7th, 2012, Liddy conceded to Office of Professional Conduct that Liddy could not amount for the McWilliams minor $59,500, actually leaving his client trust account and being deposited into the credit union account as court ordered in late 2004, although he found an unnegotiated Liddy trust check dated June the 20th, 2005, that purported to show that the $59,500 as being paid out. Liddy admitted his overall trust account balance fell to about $23,000 by May 2007. When he moved it to another bank, he admitted the McWilliams $59,500 was not in his trust account after that date and appeared to have been used by him for other purposes. Okay, we're on number 9. By letter of November the 8th, 2012, Office of Professional Conduct wrote to Liddy summarizing their recent telephone conversations about Liddy client trust account and the McWilliams sons missing $59,500. By email, Liddy acknowledged receipts of this letter and stated he would make every effort to get this resolved. Liddy was requested to promptly replace the missing funds of the $59,000. So November the 28th, 2012, by check, Liddy tendered $70,000 in funds to Bobby Coleman as the representative of Don Weaver as guardian for Damian and Devin McWilliams for the $59,500. In the funds, Liddy admits had been missing since from his client trust account plus some interest. Following responded attorney receipts of the former complaint, the attorney entered into discussions with the executive director, which had resulted in an agreement to discipline by consent pursuant to section 20.b of the Arkansas Supreme Court Procedures Regulating Professional Conduct of Attorneys at Law, 2012. Upon consideration of former complaint and attached exhibits, admission made by the respondent attorney, the terms of the written consent, the approval of Panel B of the Committee of Professional Conduct, and the Arkansas Rules of Professional Conduct, the Committee on Professional Conduct finds. A. The conduct of Martin E. Liddy violated Rule 1.3, and that from the entry of a court order on December the 2nd, 2004, directing Liddy to deposit $59,500 of his client's funds into on page 4, we got one more page, y'all, a restricted account as a financial institution until November 2012. Liddy failed to properly deal with these funds, and in fact, either lost these funds somewhere along the way or used them for other purposes, and had to borrow funds in November 2012 to replace the missing client funds. Arkansas Rule 1.3 requires that a lawyer shall act with reasonable diligence and promptness in representing a client. B. The conduct of Martin E. Liddy violates Rule 1.15b1, and that Liddy had the McWilliam Minor settlement funds from the Utley case and his client trust account, including the $59,500 the court ordered in December 2004, be placed it in a restricted bank account, and Liddy failed to maintain the $59,500 in either his client trust account or transfer these funds to a restricted bank account. His overall client trust account balance subsequently can't get my words out, subsequently dropped it as low as about $23,000 by May 2007. He admitted the McWilliams $59,500 was no longer in his client trust account by 2011, and that he was responsible for making good those missing funds, which he did in November 2012 with $70,000 is borrowed funds. Arkansas Rule 1.15b1 fines of a client shall be deposited and maintained in one or more separate, clearly identifiable trust accounts in the state where the lawyer office is situated or elsewhere with the consent of the client and third person. Wherefore, in accordance with the consent to discipline presented by Mr. Liddy and the executive director, it is the decision in order of the Arkansas Supreme Court Committee on Professional Conduct that responded Martin E. Liddy, Arkansas bar number 90098, be and he hereby is reprimanded for his conduct in the matter and assessed it $50 cost. Oh Lord, that's $50 fine, y'all. The $50 cost assessed herein shall be payable by cashier check or money order payable to the clerk, Arkansas Supreme Court, delivered to the Office of Professional Conduct within 30 days of the date that consent finding and order is filed or recorded with the clerk of the Arkansas Supreme Court. Last page, which is only just a signature. So that is it, you all. That's it. Again, that was the balls and strikes for this show. And the reason that, at the end, I always say, and like to get your opinion, is this a ball or will you consider this a strike? Is it a ball or is it a strike? So that's the question. Is it a ball or is it a strike? We're talking about an attorney who used his client's funds. Now, I don't know if he intentionally used those funds, was aware that those funds were not his funds, but nevertheless, he used those funds. As the rules stated, that the client's funds should be in what they call a separate restricted account. Okay? These were funds that was passed on to two minor children. I think I read somewhere like 9 and 7 years old they were. And by 18 years old, they can go and draw their funds. So when one of the minor children who turned 18 went to draw his funds, they learned that they had no record of such funds. And so this is where somehow an attorney was involved, and which led to Mr. Bobby Coben. He's an attorney here in Blytheville, Arkansas, of the Coben law firm right there on, I think that's, what is that, 6th Street, 5th Street, somewhere down from the post office. But he had recommended, turning this over to the OPC, as they call it, the Office of Professional Conduct, Board of Professional Conduct. And they the one that investigate complaints made by attorneys and judges. And come to find out, Mr. Martin Liddy, who's running for the prosecuting attorney office, he did admit that he's responsible. Those are his words. He's responsible. And in so many words that he would make good replacing those funds. And in doing so, and the court approving of the consent order, they did assess a fine against Mr. Liddy, which was only $50. How would you like to get a fine? You get caught stealing. I'm not saying Mr. Liddy intentionally stole. I want to be clear about that. But if you were in this situation to where you admitted, whether it was intentional or unintentional, taking someone's funds, I don't think you would get off for just $50. I think cost of court is more than that. What is cost of court nowadays? I hadn't went in a while. At one point, cost of court used to be almost $100. And so we're talking about something as serious as not complying with the rules that regulate attorneys and judges not complying with the rules. For that, he was only assessed with a $50 fine. So for those voters who wanted to to have me to read that to help you make up your mind in regards to which way you're going to vote, then there it is. Okay. And I will say you can look this information up as well. I want to say it got a case docket number. I want to put it on if I can type it in, I want to type this, uh, this case docket number for you. Okay. Let me just type that in for you. Uh, and then you'll have it. All right. I'm going to do that right now. So let's go ahead and do that now. I want to type this in for you, and you can go ahead and you can look it up yourself, and you can read it yourself. Okay. And therefore, if anyone accused you of, uh, you know, accuse you of falsehood, then of course, you can pull out the document if you have it on you at that point in time, and you can clearly share with them that the information that you are stating is factual information. Okay. So I'm almost through here. And I put this on the screen for you all. And as I indicated, you can go and you pretty much can Google this here. You really don't have to go into the database of the Arkansas Board of Professional Conduct. You can just Google it. All right. Just Google it. And so, but let me, here we go. So let me go ahead and put that up there right now. Again, this is the docket number. Okay. That's the docket number right there. CPC docket number 2012-082. Okay. You can either go to the Arkansas Supreme Court website, Board of Professional Conduct. You can type that in, or you can simply just go to Google. And what you probably can do is pretty much state, you can type in something like Martin Liddy order by the court, or order to pay fine. Martin Liddy order to pay fine. And you get, of course, you get a bunch of links come up, and you pretty much find what you want at that point in time. But like I say, it's 4 pages, 5 really, it's 4 pages. The 5th page is just, excuse me, is just a signature. So that was the balls and strikes for the day. When we start talking about candidates, if you have any information that you want to share that will help voters make up their mind, then of course you can go ahead and shoot me an email, or in this particular case, you see my my crawler down there. I have my telephone number on there, where you can call and leave me a message or what have you. And in doing so, I will check my messages. I normally check them morning, middle of the day, and right before I go to bed. That's the talk show number, 870-740-1515. When you call me, we'll talk. You send me some information. I'll take about the next 3 to 4 days to fact find that information, to make sure we're talking about factual information and not hearsay. And then we'll pick a date to go ahead and air that information. Again, to the candidates who have not appeared on my show, I think that's a missed opportunity for you. Of course, those that know me that have been on my show throughout this 3-year period that I've been doing this, I have not intentionally brought anyone on my show to be disrespectful. I have been very respectful to my guests. And so it's getting down to crunch time, candidates. This is probably the last week after October the 23rd. Okay, after October the 23rd, I will not be doing any more interviews for candidates. I basically will be getting into the election, giving my commentary or what have you. So you got until October the 23rd, okay? October the 23rd to um, to shoot me a message indicating that you desire to come on to the show. Now, let me go to my board. I don't see any comments over here, and I know uh, that I'm live, so I don't see any comments on over here. So therefore, by me not seeing any comments over here, oh yes, and I want to show you something. Uh, I want to go up here and show you that uh, there is a young lady that who is running for Martin Liddy, his opponent. Um, she is her name is, I call her Sonia, y'all. Uh, I can't pronounce that last name. I'll let you do that. But she will be the the candidate, his opposition, who he's running against. And so I just wanted to go up and show you a photo of her. Okay, so let's do that right now. I know I have it here somewhere. Let's get out of that and let's go up here and let's see if we can pull her up. All right, so let's do that now. All right, let's do that now. We're gonna see if we can pull her up right now. Okay, that ain't it. That ain't it. Well, okay, that's not it. Well, I tell you what we'll do. Screen sharing was canceled. Okay, so let's see if we can do this. I'm hoping that you all may be able to see that. I'm gonna look on my screen to make sure that I have her picture on my screen. Look like I do, but um, this is the lady, Miss Sonia Fontilcilio. Sonia Fontilcilio, Miss Sonia. That's what I call her, Miss Sonia. But she's the one that will be running against Mr. Martin uh, Liddy. So I think there may be a third candidate in the race. I'm not sure. Uh, but these are the two candidates that I do know of that have reached, which Miss Sonia have reached out to me. And I did get a chance to meet Mr. Liddy at a community event here in Blytheville. But this is the young lady that will be, running against him. And so please govern yourself to these two candidates. Okay. Both are running for the second, I believe it's the second judicial prosecutor and attorney's office. Okay. So that is his opponent. All right. So let's close that out right now. All right. And I only have one other thing to show you all before I leave, close it out. I'm going to go to my board and see if anyone got any comments before I move on. Nobody got any comments. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you this last thing. Okay. That's what I'm finna do right now. Show you this last thing. Didn't mean to pop that up. Show you this last thing right here. Okay, here we go. Now, many of you know that I am an advocate for within Mississippi County. I advocate for social justice, mainly civil and criminal rights as well as human rights. Okay, that's what I do. Been doing it for over 30 years. All right, and I heard a question, and I want to say this here. I want to give kudos to the Chamber of Commerce. They had a debate yesterday, and they had a diverse list of questions. I know that there may be some complaints about the candidates not having enough time uh, to answer the questions. Uh, I will say that uh, I thought it was fair. You know, uh, when you are given an opportunity to answer a question, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 2 minutes is 2 minutes. That's where you practice. Okay, candidates, that's where you practice. You know, you're not going to be able to tell it all, but you have to get out what is considered the best part uh, uh, of your answer in response uh, that is needed to somewhat hopefully catch that attentive ear of the listeners. You can't get up there and tell your whole plan. Ain't enough time for that, especially when you got 7 candidates. All right. So I will say that um, even going forward, if there are any other candidates that will be taking part in QA or debates or whatever, you need to brush up on your timing. Okay. They're not going to give you a whole lot of time to answer. All right. But it was fair. Uh, and I have to say that at first I was a little critical of the credit union, the chamber, thinking that they wasn't going to hit uh, home on too many of the social issues. They did, very diverse. They talked about housing, they talked about infrastructure, they talk about crime, they talk about police leadership, they talk about assessment. I mean, the airport, certain building structures. Uh, I mean, they covered it all. You hear me? They covered it all, and so I was well impressed, and I enjoyed uh, the chamber event that they gave in terms of meet the candidates. But anyway, I want to show you this here. Uh, like I say, there was many questions, but like I say, my bread and butter is civil and social justice, which involve civil, criminal, and human rights. Okay, so I want you to look at this little news, not news, but a video of the debate. Okay, that the one question that I was really listening for, and it did come out. So let me just play that for you right now. Right, let's go up here and find it. I want to play that for you, and then we'll get out of here. All right. So let me go up here and find that right now. I gotta get me a got to get me another. I got to get me a better switchboard because it takes me too long to go from one point to the other point to where I need to be. But here's the video right here. Okay, I want to play this video for you. This was the question that they asked about as it relates to leadership and crime. Okay, within our community and leadership within the Blytheville Police Department. All right. So let's listen to that and we'll close out. Let me play it for you.
Number one.
Ms. Wells, in 1 minute, this is a two-part question.
Okay.
What is your assessment of the city's law enforcement leadership and the effectiveness of the police force? And what would be your first 2 steps to improve crime-related issues?
Okay, the law enforcement. Okay. The step would be to get with our law enforcement and make sure that they are doing policy and procedure. If that means we need to get our actual law enforcement trained, retrained, or however, and everybody, you have to recap on what you're taught to do. Because once you get involved, you get dormant a little bit and then go off track. It's just like teaching school. You got to keep them on track. So we will actually keep that assessment going with our law enforcement. Then have them to actually have little stations in every ward so they can get familiar with the people. If I was mayor, I would want to put that in the ward because that'll bring community unity, and then they will see them.
I'm going to follow up with you just briefly. What is your assessment of the city's current law enforcement leadership and the effectiveness of
I don't see any problem with the law enforcement itself. I see that there is policy and procedure that needs to be touched upon, re-elaborated on, and to get our police force to kind of do better and get in the community itself. Yes.
Mr. Hayes?
I don't have my self-assessment, but I assess this issue through hearing the community talk. They're concerned about the attitudes that the officers have toward the citizens. They would like to see more involvement with the police officers, with the citizens. I would even like to institute other things that the police officers could do to get involved with the community, have programs where they could get on better relationships, earn respect of one another.
Thank you. Ms. Logan?
Current assessment and law enforcement here in our city, there has been, in recent times, identified by our community, kind of a distrust between community and police. And so where are we in my local, in my assessment of where we are now, is there is room for improvement. There is absolutely room for improvement. And what would we do? We would sit around the table and come up with a plan. How do we improve? Identify what our issues are and work on improving those issues.
Thank you. Ms. Brothers?
As far as our law enforcement, sometimes there is a lack. Not everyone's going to like everyone that's in position, especially if that person's doing their job. It's known to be a fact when you have a boss and you're not happy with them, the boss is probably trying to make you do your job. As far as a grouping, we have currently every Monday morning, there's leadership meetings with each department head. I know there seems to be some mistrust or maybe misunderstanding of our law enforcement, but thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Musgraves?
Well, one thing about our law enforcement, what we have to understand is this: they're out there every day putting their lives on the line. And so sometimes you get a little bit upset and things happen. But I think our leadership is going in the right direction. I think, can things be changed and made better? Of course they can. You know, I want to see better. I want to see community policing. And so that's effective, because when you have people out in the community that see something, they'll say something. And that's what we want to have. And that's what we're going to have to develop our city, make them feel safe in their homes and outside their home. And we've been told that I needed something to say. Well, okay.
Ms. Jackson?
Examine our current police department for irregularities of procedures and law with all people. Once we examine that and take the appropriate action, I believe in protocol.
Again, what is your assessment of the current state of law enforcement here?
Terrible, terrible leadership. And I'm noticing one officer tell you one thing and another one tell you different. We need to put everybody on the same page.
I'm reading you over. Mr. Mayberry?
To combat crime, we have a problem. Our police department need to be proactive instead of reactive. Just as we had the event on Ash Street, we had no police presence. So we need police presence, and we need somebody to know about events. And there was an event. So you got a bad combination of alcohol and young people drinking, and nobody knows anything, the mayor or the chief or whoever. And now you got gangs and everything. So I would have a gang unit. I would also have our police department to be more proactive and to increase. So I'm so sorry, I didn't see them. All right. So hey, you don't have to battle crime.
Thank you. Thank you all. Mr. Hayes?
Number
start with your
12.
question. What number?
12.
12. People often fail to think about the good things in Blytheville. We're talking a lot tonight about the issues, but can you identify a hidden gem in our city that you believe could be further developed into a really big asset?
Well,
Yes,
we're
I
gonna
do.
we're gonna stop there.
I'm really interested. We have the largest
We're gonna stop
airport.
there. But I just wanted to. I don't even know if we covered them all in terms of that question. But I just wanted to to show you all that I haven't saw any comments, and I hope I turn my comment button on because I don't see any comments over here. So before I close out, I'm gonna go and check to see if my comment button is on, and if it's not on, I'm going to turn it on to see if I can get you all to shoot me a comment or something about this broadcast, and we'll move on. Okay. So let's just check that now. I want to make sure it's on. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. I want to go in here and see if I have it on. And if I have my comment button on, then I would say that you all don't have any questions. So let's go and check that now. Okay. Let's check that now. And it appeared that the comment button is on. It's on. So I guess you all just don't have any questions. And if you don't have any questions, I'm getting ready to close this out. And I want to say I thank each and every one of you who tuned in today. And so again, what we was talking about today, we was talking about calling balls and strikes on the candidates, you know, in terms of their knowledge. Are they telling whole truth, half truth, in terms of some of the questions and answers that was given, excuse me. And so that's the show, but we will be coming back and we will be talking about balls and strikes. I mentioned two other candidates, Councilwoman Brothers and Councilman John Mayberry. I do have some information in regards to those two candidates. And so please do catch me sometime this week. I will be running a special broadcast, and hopefully you will tune in. So since we don't have any more, again, for those of you who didn't see, again, this is the candidate who will be opposing Mr. Martin Liddy. That was our balls and strikes for today. Okay. And she's the candidate that will be opposing him. All right. So hopefully you'll keep in mind that when you go to the polls, are you voting for the candidate who you believe that is good, not only to represent the district in terms of prosecuting certain individuals or what have you, but you want an individual candidate, excuse me, that who not only prosecute those who break the law, but in prosecuting those who break the law, first of all, I think it's fair to say that you must first hold yourself also accountable to that very same laws which was passed by our Arkansas state legislators. Okay. No one, as I say so many times, no one is above the law. Okay. Again, no one is above the law. So that's my show for today, you all. And I will say that hopefully you all will catch me again this coming, I want to say maybe Thursday, but catch me again. And I will hopefully be bringing you another show to where I think you will enjoy. So enjoy the remainder of your day. And I just like to say to you all, good night. God bless.